bense Chityama anifo namo bense Chityama anifo namo bense Shitya manifo namo bense Shitya manifo. Everyone face the Buddha. We'll make 3 half bows to the Buddha. Face the central aisle and take a seat. This is the informal section of our just an introduction for what we're doing today to welcome the folks online. We're very happy to be doing a Kathina ceremony with guests that are present with us in the room. We haven't had that for a couple of years, as you well know. And so today we're sharing it both live and in person and also with our friends online. We're very excited to do this. So we'll start with a little informal kind of introduction here, and then we'll move into the formal ceremony. And I will say just a little bit about what we're doing today. Venerable Children's talk later will go into much more depth about this. But simply to give you some context from what you're about to see or experience, be a part of. The Kathina is a celebration that comes from the time of the Buddha. So it's a very ancient ceremony adapted over many different ways as it comes to different countries and different cultures. Venerable, we have several Buddhist students that have come, one's from Indonesia who knows Kathinas quite well. This will be the American version that we have adapted for the Sravasti Abbey celebration of Kathina. The Buddha prescribed 3 rites or ceremonies or activities that a fully ordained monastic sangha should do in order to be a fully functioning monastic community. And we do these 3. It's twice a month, we do confession and restore our precepts. Once a year, we do our 3-month monastic retreat. And at the end of that retreat, we invite feedback about our behavior and so forth to help us improve. So all 3 of those are done. Kathina is not one of those ceremonies, but it's related to it in that within 1 month of the end of that retreat, called the varsa, we must do this ceremony to, traditionally, it was to offer robes to the sangha, so that the lay people, out of their gratitude and support, recognizing that the sangha needed robes, which was a big need at the time of the Buddha, made offerings of robes. It has become over time a period in which the lay community offers supplies to replenish the stores for the monastic community after they have been in retreat for 3 months. And so it symbolizes beautifully the interdependent relationship between the monastic sangha and the lay community. So it is extremely rare, of course, as you know, in the Western world, for there to be a functioning Buddhist monastic community, A. And B, to be able to live, we must be in this relationship with our lay supporters. This interdependent relationship is vividly lived out. Truly, Sravasti Abbey would not exist without the support and the exchange between our lay friends. So this Kathina today is simply an enactment in a way, sort of a ritualization in a way, of this very, very important relationship that the lay community supports the activities of the monastic community. The monastic community is beholden. I mean, it reminds us very strongly, if we're living on the kindness of others, that we must do what we are here to do. And that is to cultivate our practice, to develop our minds, to overcome our afflictions as we can, slowly, 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 that we develop our love, our compassion and wisdom, and that we share what we have learned. We share the Buddhist teachings as broadly and as widely as we can. And so, and it's not just for now. I mean, what we are doing here is planting seeds in each of our minds for the long-term future. I mean, many, 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 many lifetimes until we're Buddhists. That's what we're looking for. And we're doing it here on American soil, which, you know, could use some influence of love, compassion, and wisdom in a time in the world where love, compassion, and wisdom seems to be hiding out. And yet, we are still practicing. People are still practicing around the world, and we have the participation of our friends online today. So one piece of technical information, a part of this is that it begins with a procession. In the Southeast Asia, they will have elephants leading a huge parade. So we have a small parade, and we don't have an elephant, but we do have a moose on a stick. The auspicious moose will be the American Northwest version of the elephant leading the way. So at the end of this informal ceremony, we'll ask all the people here to take a sample of the many offerings that have been made on behalf of today's Kathina, and gather downstairs, and then we'll take the procession up the hill, return those gifts to the table when you come back, take a seat, and then we'll begin our formal presentation with the incense offering. So as I mentioned very briefly, we have a international participation today in a very beautiful way. So our friends in Singapore and Malaysia and the Ong family have for the second year been the official robe offerers, offering the Kathina on behalf of many friends actually in Singapore and especially Ong family. Kenru Ong, I'll come back to in a second, but Kenru is the spokesperson for the group. They decided this year that their wish was to make this offering on behalf of the people of Ukraine. So all of the merit generated that they want to offer for the Ukrainians. And we are very fortunate that our friend Julia Arkhipova, who will be speaking to us from a bomb shelter in Ukraine, will be speaking on their behalf to make the offering. And we're but she's on the line, right? So she can't actually offer this robe, but we're friends, Julia and Dan Dimitrov. Julia is an American citizen now, no, on her way. But born and raised in Russia. And Dan is of also Slavic descent. So the connection of remembering that we are, regardless of nationality, regardless of when conflicts happen and where they happen, we are living beings with hearts of kindness, with hearts of goodness. And our purpose as Dharma friends throughout the world, no matter whether our nations are at war or not, our purpose is to cultivate our love, compassion, and wisdom and try to hold every being. And we have to practice to do this because we have afflictions that turn us away from that. But this ceremony today, with our international participation and all of our friends here and all of our sangha here, is like a light, okay? Light of love, compassion, wisdom, that's what we're sending out so that we can grow it, because every being has this capacity. I don't care what they do. It's also a part of who they are. And the Buddha taught that we can develop this, and we can develop this to the max so that all of those afflictions disappear. Really, we overcome them. That's our work. So today we'll do this Kathina ceremony with the celebration. And so I want to invite Kenru to speak and share with us about what they're offering.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Kenru?
First of all, we'd like to say thank you to Venerable and all the Abbey monastics, and rejoice that you all completed the 3 months retreat. And to all the Mahasangha in the past 3 months, it is an honor for us to join the retreat from afar with you. And today, we celebrate the anniversary for all the monastics, and we witness that so many people that we actually come together cultivate the fear of marriage together, holding the compassion dear to everyone's heart, observe AA precepts, and also accountability. We cultivated the mindfulness and introspective awareness together, and reflected on the emptiness, regardless that whether we are lay or PEs, monastics. And it's such an honor for me to present the Ong family from Malaysia and Singapore, and also the Friends of Sravasti Abbey, Singapore and Malaysia, in offering the robes and the 4 requisites to celebrate these wholesome virtues and meritorious deeds. And indeed, it's very rare for us to actually have the opportunity to offer the robes, which is the Kathina robes, and it's just a major, which is like Dharma mentioned, is great, and also is actually a major celebration in Southeast Asia. It's one of the biggest events that happen in a year during the October, November timeframe. And this year is very special for us too, because we want to dedicate to the people of Ukraine for the ripening conditions of the trees. Today, thanking the Om family, and also we think that we are born as one family, and the people of Ukraine are our family members too. Yeah, perhaps we are very related, who knows? And every one of them deserves happiness and liberation from suffering. So beside the Ukraine and also for all the Russians, all the countries that are in the war, we hope that all these merit of umbrella of protection may shelter you from all these harm from samsara. And with a very sincere heart with us, we also wish that this great merit of practice, the great merits of offering the 4 requisites of the sangha, we will plant and also nurture the seeds of love and compassion in everyone's heart. And let's translate these into all the actions that will cause the end of suffering. And also we would like to pass to introduce Sister Yvonne, who will be representing the Friends of Sravasti Abbey, Singapore and Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenru. Yvonne, please go.
Thank you, Kenru. I'm Yvonne, representing Friends of Sravasti Abbey, Singapore and Malaysia. So we're actually very deeply grateful to the Sangha for the teachings. So based on the Sangha Vadana, which means salutation to the Sangha, it's actually a chant in the Theravada Buddhism tradition. So we will actually recollect the qualities of the Sangha. So the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced straightforwardly, the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced methodically, the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced masterfully, the 4 pairs, the 8 types of noble ones. That is the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples, worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offering, worthy of respect, the incomparable field of merit for the world. I worship most highly that Sangha. To that Sangha, I bow my head down. So once again, representing Friends of Sravasti Abbey, Singapore and Malaysia, we thank the Sangha for their guidance and kindness, and may we also one day develop such qualities just like them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yvonne. And also with us is Julia Arkhipova from Ukraine, who is receiving, representatively, and receiving the merit on behalf of Ukrainians.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude on behalf of all Ukrainian people for this generous offering made in our name. Thank you, dear Ong family and Friends of Sravasti Abbey in Singapore and Malaysia for sharing your merit and virtue with us. Our sincere gratitude also to Sravasti Abbey Sangha for everything you do to create peace in our chaotic world. May this offering create causes for stopping all conflicts all over the planet and all suffering right now, right this minute. And may the Buddha Dharma always flourish in our world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julia, for being with us. Thank you all for being with us. Thank you all for being with us. And we can take Julia's words, I think, as our motivation for today's celebration or today's ceremony, that by our merit here, by all the merit that's generated, may love and compassion grow in the heart of every being. And may we also plant the seeds in water the seeds in ourselves that make it possible for us to be able to lead all beings to that state. So now we'll begin with our more formal ceremony. And as I said, that begins with the procession. So we'll have the sangha please rise and stand, take your positions. And we'll be chanting Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo as you all take your offerings and head downstairs. And Venerable Kungo will be your leader as you go downstairs. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Oh, Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Oh, Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Namo Binshu Shucha Mani Fo. Shit. O Namo. Palms joined. Should your palms joined. Mani Fo Namo Bente Shitya 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 Mani Fo. Everyone face the central aisle. You all are fine. You're facing the front. And let us respectfully invite the abbess to enter.
When
Everyone face the Buddha. Respectfully bow to the Buddha 3 times. Half bow. Face the central aisle. And everyone face the front again. Respectfully bow to the abbess 3 times. Amitofo. Half bow.
So we follow the Dharmakuptaka Vinaya, the one that is practiced in East Asia, in China and Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea. And so that's the tradition. There's several different Vinaya traditions. Vinaya has to do with the monastic disciplines, so different schools of Vinaya. We follow the Dharmakuptaka. Okay, so the Dharmakuptaka Vinaya says there were many bhikshus observing varsa. So this is the story behind how this ritual came about. After giving the pravarana, the feedback at the end of the retreat, after giving the pravarana on the 15th, they went to see the Buddha on the 16th. It rained on the way. Their clothes became wet, their outer robes grew heavy, and they were exhausted. The Buddha said to the bhikshus, there are 4 matters that should be carried out at the end of varsa. First, to give the pravarana, the feedback. 2, to dissolve the existing territory. 3, to establish a new territory. We haven't done that because we have the same territory, the same sima as before. And 4, to receive the robe of merit. After receiving the robe of merit, the sangha obtains 5 privileges. So the 5 privileges are seen as kind of a reward to the sangha for having done their the 3-month varsa retreat. So what can be received as the robe of merit? Yeah, the robe of merit can be the cloth or it can be an actual robe. So there's different criteria for it. So it can be new cloth, donated cloth, or discarded cloth may be used. If the cloth is new, stack it to make it allowable. So for the sangha to be allowed to use new cloth, it is put under a stack of old cloth. Okay. If it is not new, it may be accepted after it is washed, then make it allowable. The cloth cannot be obtained through wrong livelihood, flattery, hinting, or insinuation. So there's very strict rules for the sangha, how we obtain the 4 requisites: food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. And we can't, it's not appropriate to hint that people give you things or to flatter people so that they give you things, or to insinuate that you really need something, or to give somebody a small present in the hope that they will give you a bigger one. Okay, bribery. So we're not allowed to do that to obtain our flattery, to obtain our livelihood. So the cloth may not be kept overnight. It may not be a forfeited robe, even if it has been made allowable. So it can't be a robe that somebody had before that was given up. Okay, so the donor. First,
Place the robe on the small table. And then you say, I will bow. That was
one bow.
Ami Tofu. Do a half bow too. We kneel and take the robe and offer.
Venerables, we present this robe together with other requisites to the sangha. Venerables, please accept this robe and the other requisites from us for our long-lasting welfare and happiness.
Those who are wise, generous, and free from selfishness give at appropriate times. Thus, what is given to those who are worthy and ethically sound is an offering of great purity and substance. Those who likewise show appreciation or perform actions of service equally make offerings, and they also share in the merit. In giving, the heart is unbounded. What is given bears great results, and those meritorious deeds bring about good fortune in many lives to come.
So the lift it over your head, and then Venerable Damcho will take it from you. And you bow 3 times. Yes. Venerable Damcho takes the robe. And Julia and Dan stand. Walk back to the back and bow 3 times. A little half bow. We'll do. And then you guys take a seat. So at this time, we'll have all the bhikshunis rise. And so to explain what's happening, the Bhikshuni Sangha will now then proceed single file. We'll chant Namo Benshu Shuchai Moni Pho to the Kuan Yin room, and we will continue with the Bhikshuni private ceremony. Venerable Nima and Venerable Pema will lead the guests here in Sutra recitation and meditation. And you will carry the robe, right? You guide us. Namo Benchi Shityamani Pho. Namo Benchi Shityamani Pho. Namo Benchi Shityamani Pho. Namo Benchi Shityamani Pho. Namo Benchi
This, okay, that, okay. So let's take a moment to just renew our motivation to dedicate all of this merit for peace in the world, for healing in all those places where healing is needed, particularly for our friends in Russia and Ukraine, and everywhere else where there is famine or conflicts, for refugees everywhere. And also so that we can all complete the path to full awakening and be able to, at some point, to lead all sentient beings to full awakening too. So let that be our renewed motivation for this part of the ceremonies today. We will start our session here reading the sutta, the Ratnana Sutta, and it's a very beautiful sutta whereby the Buddha established healing and harmony in a place where there wasn't any, and he was asked to come and help do that. And so this is a very pertinent sutta for our times and for what we're doing here this morning. And so for those of us who are watching from the Zoom call, the sutta is located on our webpage, our homepage, under the banner of guidelines to Abbey online program. So the sutta is there, as well as the Shakyamuni Buddha practice, which we will do following the reading of the sutta. And so what we're going to do is each one of us we will all read the sutta together. And that way we can all just gain this merit and get acquainted with the Buddha's words and deeds of wisdom that he performed when he was alive. I have one extra. You have more, if just maybe someone might need it, if you could do that, because I will read it right from the web page. Okay. So let's do it all together. Okay. The occasion for this discourse in brief, according to the commentary, is as follows. The city of Vassali was afflicted by a famine, causing death, especially to the poor folk. Due to the presence of decaying corpses, the evil spirits began to haunt the city. This was followed by a pestilence. Plagued by these three fears of famine, non-human beings, and pestilence, the citizens sought the help of the Buddha, who was then living at Rajagraha, followed by a large number of monks, including the Venerable Ananda, his attendant disciple. The Buddha came to the city of Vassali. With the arrival of the master, there were torrential rains, which swept away the putrefying corpses. The atmosphere became purified. The city was clean. Thereupon, the Buddha delivered this jewel discourse, Ratana Sutta, to the Venerable Ananda and gave him instructions as to how he should tour the city with the Lichavi citizens, reciting the discourse as a mark of protection to the people of Vassali. The Venerable Ananda followed the instructions and sprinkled the sanctified water from the Buddha's own alms bowl. As a consequence, the evil spirits were exorcised, the pestilence subsided. Thereafter, the Venerable Ananda returned with the citizens of Vassali to the public hall where the Buddha and his disciples had assembled awaiting his arrival. There, the Buddha recited the same jewel discourse to the gathering. Whatever beings, non-humans, are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, may they all have peace of mind, and may they listen attentively to these words. O beings, listen closely. May you all radiate loving kindness to those human beings who by day and night bring offerings to you, offer merit to you. Wherefore, protect them with diligence. Whatever treasure there be, either here or in the world beyond, whatever precious jewel there be in the heavenly worlds, there is not comparable to the Tathagata, the perfect one. The precious jewel is the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. That cessation, that detachment, that deathlessness, Nibbana, supreme, the calm and collected Shakyan sage, the Buddha, had realized. There is not comparable to this Nibbana Dharma. This precious jewel is the Dharma. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. The Supreme Buddha extolled a path of purity, the Noble Eightfold Path, calling it the path which unfailingly brings concentration. There is not comparable to this station. This precious jewel is the Dhamma. By this asseveration of truth, may there be happiness. The question. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. With a steadfast mind and applying themselves well in the dispensation of the Buddha Gautama, free from defilements, they have attained to that which should be attained, arhatship, encountering the deathless. They enjoy the peace of Nibbana, freely obtained. This precious jewel is the Sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. As a post deep planted in the earth stands unshaken by the winds from the four quarters, So too, I declare, is the righteous man who comprehends with wisdom the noble truth. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Those who realize the noble truth, well taught by him who is profound in wisdom, the Buddha, even though they may be exceedingly heedless, they will not take an eighth existence in the realm of sense spheres. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. With his gaining of insight, he abandons three states of mind, namely self-illusion, doubt, and indulgence in meaningless rites and rituals, should there be any. He is also fully freed from the four states of woe, and therefore incapable of committing the six major wrongdoings. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. An evil action he may still do by deed, word, or thought, he is incapable of concealing it, since it has been proclaimed that such concealing is impossible for one who has seen the path of Nibbana. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. As the woodland groves do in the early heat of the summer month are crowned with blossoming flowers, even so is the sublime Dhamma leading to the calm of Nibbana, which is taught by the Buddha for the highest good. This precious jewel is the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. The peerless excellent one, the Buddha, the knower of Nibbana, the giver of Nibbana, the bringer of the noble path, taught the excellent Dharma. This precious jewel is the Buddha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Their past karma is spent, their new karma no more arises. Their mind to future becoming is unattached. Their germ of rebirth consciousness has died. They have no more desire for reliving. Those wise men fade out of existence as the flame of this lamp which has just faded away. This precious jewel is the sangha. By this asseveration of the truth, may there be happiness. Whatever beings, non-humans, are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the Buddha, the Tathagata, the perfect one, honored by gods and men. May there be happiness. Whatever beings are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the perfect Dhamma, honored by gods and men. May there be happiness. Whatever beings are assembled here, terrestrial or celestial, come, let us salute the perfect Sangha, honored by gods and men. May there be happiness. So now we're going to turn to page 28 of the Blue Book, and there are some blue books on the windowsills there. I think there's 4 per row, so you can feel free to grab one and open it to page 28. And we will do the abbreviated recitations and the practice of Shakyamuni Buddha. And so let's reconnect with Shakyamuni Buddha by visualizing him in front of us and remembering that he represents all the amazing qualities that we would like to develop in ourselves: compassion, wisdom, correct view, and also skillful means. The Buddha's body, speech, and mind are completely pure. And his body radiates golden light, which really pervades all directions. And because the Buddha's mind has no barriers, pervades everywhere. And so we can be sure that the Buddha is here with us. And so it's important to feel that connection, to feel his presence in the space in front of us, even if we cannot visualize him very clearly. Just knowing that there is a holy being in the space right here with us, that is sufficient. The Buddha is looking at all of us with great kindness. There is not a hint of judgment or criticism. From his side, his only desire is to benefit each and every one of us and all other sentient beings everywhere. So knowing his qualities and realizing that we are in need of guidance to get out of this suffering state, then we go to the Buddha for refuge, imagining that we are leading all sentient beings, and we can visualize them in the space around us as far as we can imagine. And they're all in human form. And they're also seeking refuge in the three jewels, as represented by the Buddha we're visualizing in front of us. Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. So now we'll take refuge and infuse our refuge with bodhicitta, the wish to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. By the merit I create, by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, I will attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create, by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, I will attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I have awakened the Buddhas, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit I create, by engaging in generosity and the other far-reaching practices, I will attain Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings. As we recite the four immeasurables, you could think about all sentient beings, but also if there is a particular person or a particular group of people that in your heart you really want to wish these four immeasurables for, you can also do that as well. So we'll recite all four, And then we'll leave a brief moment afterwards so that you can visualize either all sentient beings or one person or a group receiving all of this that you are sending. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. As we recite the next section, which is the 7-limb prayer, you can visualize that you are doing these actions that are described in each one of these limbs, and that will help you generate more merit. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. Dedicate all the virtues of myself and others to the great awakening. We will not be able to conclude, but we will do a dedication at the end of the ceremony. And now let's please rise to welcome our abbess and the bhikshunis.
O Namo Bhante Shyamani Pho. O Namo Bhante Shyamani Pho. Namo Bhante Shyamani Pho. O Namo Bhante Shyamani Pho. O Namo Bhante Shyamani Pho. Receiving the robe is a virtuous, wonderful day. directions and 3 times to Face the Buddha. Bow to the Buddha 3 times. In gratitude, bow to the abbess 3 times. Amitofo. Face the central aisle. Wait respectfully as the abbess leaves the hall. This ends our formal ceremony of offering and spreading the Kathina. So we'll thank all of our friends online for joining us. They're already off, right? Oh, aha. I see. So are you in a place where you want to continue the meditation? Where were you?
We were just about ready to go for the mandala.
Let's sit down and have you finish leading this meditation and then we'll, yeah. Venerable, is that okay with you? We'll sit down and have them finish the meditation where they were and we'll just do it with them. Okay? Yeah. Venerable Lima, please carry on.
We just had completed the 17th prayer. And so we'll now get ready to do our mandala offering. And when we do the mandala offering, we visualize all beautiful things that we want to offer to the holy beings. And we can also visualize our problems, our afflictions, people that we have difficulty with, and everything in our field of experience we can offer to the Buddhas. This ground anointed with perfume, flowers strewn Mount Meru, foreland, sun and moon, imagined as a Buddha land and offered to you. May all beings enjoy this pure land. the objects of attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments. I offer these without any sense of loss. Please accept them with pleasure and inspire me and others to be free from the three poisonous attitudes. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Nirjatayami. At this point, we can imagine that the beautiful Buddha that we had visualized in the space in front of us now comes to the crown of our heads. And he does the same for all other sentient beings that we have been visualizing in the space around us. So all of us now have the Buddha on the crown of our heads. And we will request inspiration. Glorious and precious Root Guru, sit upon the lotus and moon seat on my crown, guiding me with your great kindness. Bestow upon me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind, the eyes through whom the vast scriptures are seen, supreme doors for the fortunate who would cross over to a spiritual freedom, illuminators whose wise means vibrate with compassion. To the entire line of spiritual mentors, we make requests. Now we turn to page 30, where we can find the Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra. So we're going to recite the Buddha's mantra 7 times out loud, then silently for some time. And as we do this, first we can visualize that purifying rays of light and nectar come from the Buddha's heart, penetrating our entire body, speech, and mind, bringing purification. And also, after we are purified, we can imagine golden light from the Buddha into us and all sentient beings, bringing all the realizations of the path. Today, as an additional, very special visualization, we can also visualize from the heart of the Buddha healing rays of light going to the places where there's some healing. We going to Ukraine and Russia to bring peace and harmony, going to the Yemen to bring food and peace to all who need it, and any other area of the world where healing and harmony is needed. You can send the Buddha's blessings there as well. So we'll do the mantra 7 times and then we will go silently for some time. Tayata O Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Tayata O Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Tayata O Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Tayata 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 Mune Mune. Tayata. Hayata Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesoha. So this has been a very, very meritorious occasion, and we've generated a lot of merit. So we are going to dedicate it so as to not lose that. And we imagine that then all of this merit collects in our heart as light. So we now have all of this light in our heart from this merit that we've collected this morning. And as we are going to dedicate it, we're going to share and send those rays of light all over the universe for the benefit of all sentient beings. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May the born have no decline, but increase forevermore.
So thank all of you. Thank everyone online. This ends our Kathina celebration for this morning. So the folks here, those of you who've been here many times know this is true. If you come to the Abbey, you're immediately incorporated into the community, which means that you're immediately invited to offer service. So we need to rearrange this room. We need to prepare lunch. We need to get that together. So we'll have lunch at 12 today. There probably is some help. We can help with Venerable Kunga to rearrange some of the offerings and gifts. So we'll organize that. And you're welcome to go tour the garden and have conversations and have a cup of tea for a break before we do that. But I want to thank everyone online for joining us. And also we're